Hello Genshin squad, it's me, the mobile masochist. Today I will be soloing the Spiral Abyss. Starting off with 12-1 first half, we already have one of my top 3 most annoying bosses in Abyss. Oh joy. Now believe it or not, this boss fight is really easy for Wanderer. Apparently the boss's AI remains idle while I'm in my hovering state. It rarely attacks and just lets me damage it for free. Credit to Omega 12 for discovering this exploit. Every attack is avoidable, so no hit runs are possible. Now getting hit once isn't the end of the world, since right now I'm focused on optimizing time, not HP. That's until we get to the second phase where the 4 ruin summon spawns and you have to kill the one that's glowing at the start. It is the only one with the health bar and the only one that you can damage. The others can be stunned if you hit them, and trust me, you'll need to do that. For saving time, we want RNG to give us either the Ruin Cruiser or the Ruin Destroyer, since they have the least HP. In a solo, I recommend resetting immediately if you get the other two, unless your DPS is high enough. My first successful run and I barely survived, and because of this random laggy ass ping, I ended the fight at 8:07, but the game says that I started the second half at 8:09, so I'll take it I guess. Either way though, there's no chance my Wanderer can clear the second half in less than a minute. I switched to the heal and burst card this round and got the Ruin Serpent, roughly the same time 8:06 as the Cruiser, but what's stupid is the iframes the Ruin Destroyer gets when it pops in and out of the ground. So yeah, I kept trying and died a lot. What is this bullshit ass teaming up on me? I don't know how I didn't die here, but it was the run I needed to have an improved time of entering the second half at 8:15. Even then, I thought I could do better. The heal buff is good for sustaining the second phase of this fight, but it does nothing for my damage. I tried the second half with 45 seconds left at 3 stars. I killed these 3 in 45 seconds. Not too bad for my first attempt. The Stone Enchanter is doable, but with his increased resistance after summoning his pet, I have to kill the Gator so that I can trigger their stun state and deal more damage. This is necessary if you want to solo without C6 R5. Wanderer can luckily avoid the rumbling stone ley line, but this is the start of learning how many moves can still hit me even when I'm hovering. Kinda makes Wanderer's whole appeal kinda pointless, don't you think, Mihoyo? I cannot believe the freaking timing of this death. Like, I iframed the first part, but couldn't iframe the second part, and even if I had hovered, I still would have gotten hit regardless. The strategy for this is to target the Geofatui first and kill him before he gets his shield up. The others are predictable, but together in their infused state, they can freeze chain me. I personally went for the Cryo Ermite first, since his attack has some deceptive range, and Cryo slows down my attack speed, which reduces my overall damage since my main source of damage is from my normal attacks. The Dancer is pretty easy to predict and dodge once you understand the timing. How the hell can that Gator hit me that far from the ground? I tried a few more times before concluding that it was likely not going to be possible to do this in 75 seconds. I was so close in this run the next day, 3 seconds off, but there's no way I'm going to replicate that. Once again, the Ruin Destroyer can go fuck itself. Unfortunately, since I no longer use the heal when burst buff, I can only afford to tank 1 hit if I want to even survive to the summoning phase. And often I just reset after taking a hit. There was like 30 attempts before getting a no-hit run. I finally caught a lucky break with this game. The Ruin Coaster was for some reason immediately stunned. I dodged a missile from the crab and the Ruin Serpent targeted an area I wasn't even close to. I got some lucky procs on my passive for some extra damage 4 times. And freeze frame. I likely would have survived this, but I clutched killing him at 8:21, a whole 6 seconds faster. Again, I started by focusing on the Geofatui, staying close to him as I could so that auto target would lock onto him. Really wish Genshin had some kind of Z targeting system. Now yes, I did say I didn't want to get hit by Cryo, but as long as I don't get hit by Hydra, I avoid getting frozen, and while my attack speed is slower, my crit rate increased because I absorbed the Cryo with my skill. So I'm now critting more often. Then I got a hit again with Hydro, but this is optimal since this gives me more uptime in my hover state. Somehow I was actually high enough that the Stone Enchanter's attacks didn't hit, but I still dodge and keep my distance just to play it safe. I managed to avoid death, and honestly, I was just going off pure Ultra Instinct, managing to dodge a series of attacks that should have killed me. I finally killed off the Gator, went in for the final kill, and managed to win in style. Chamber 2. Alright, I'll be honest with you, from the bottom of my heart, screw the devs who added these algorithm bot enemies. Their freaking constructs can hit me while I'm floating, especially the Beyblades and the lasers. I am so upset. I was so close if these damn Beyblades didn't stagger me, and then the game auto-targets the constructs instead of the enemies, allowing them to go invisible. And if you don't have an Electro character or a freeze team with you, it is a time waster waiting for these guys to decloak. And I'm likely just gonna die from the constructs. I tried resetting, changing my build slightly. My hope was to have more HP than 5.3k when coming back, but unfortunately no matter how hard I try to have a no-hit run, the Ruin Destroyer in the previous chamber would always chip away at me. There is a technique that Omega used when doing their solo run, and I knew it would take a while to get the hang of it, but it doesn't matter when the game is actively praying for my downfall with these damn constructs. I swear these enemies are going to give me more PTSD than the Rift Hounds, and that's somehow impressive. I tried everything, you know, different builds. I tried 4-piece Shimawa set, I tried 2-piece Gladiator and like Animo damage sets. I didn't have a full 4-piece of his best in slot yet, unfortunately, so nothing worked. I reset to have more HP and camped the chamber for a few days for a good buff. Are you serious? Why would you let me get this close only to rip it from my grass game? I hate auto-targeting in this game. I am literally floating as high as I can go with Wanderer's skill, and they are still hitting me from the ground. Beyblades are making me maul. No, it's actually not molding. We're way past that. Now I'm just actively pissed off and ready to pay Mihoyo's headquarters a visit in person. I spent probably over 4 hours on and off trying to clear this first wave, and I was just hitting a wall. So you know what? It's time to call in the big guns. No, not that. Close though. I reached out to my friend Ian, not Kaching main Ian, C6 Yai main Ian. You may know him from some of my recent summon videos. Alright, my first death. Not off to a great start, but cut me some slack. I haven't touched Yai on my account despite owning her for over a year. Honestly, not much to say here. Obviously, I have like no HP, so I die if the enemy breathes on me. I reset off screen again and was fortunate enough to have at least half of my HP left for this chamber. I was getting closer bit by bit. At least this attempt, I actually killed one of them. Still dying to Beyblades, that has not changed. They unfortunately went invisible, so there wasn't much I could do but hope that auto-targeting hits them. I managed to survive the Beyblades this time because the RNG targeting killed the bot who summoned them while they were invisible. RNG finally cutting me some slack. I burst the Gale Hunter, knocking her to half HP. No, I threw so hard. A couple minutes later, I got lucky again, so I killed the first two, destroyed the construct, but my ice skill actually killed the bot by the time I finished that. Same thing, burst the Gale Hunter down when she spawned in. I managed to sprint out of her AoE and kill her bird, giving me the free stun and temporary resistance shred to finally finish this chamber at 8:55. Now, bear with me. I know we're jumping ahead to 12:3, and this might get a little confusing, but we need to do this because I need to have a rough idea of how much time I can have left for the second half. All I have to fight for this is a level 100 Angry Chicken. No multiple enemies bullshit, just a 1v1. Okay, in my defense, I haven't seen the boss ever do this move before. A headbutt can one-shot me. Good to know. The reason why Yai is great for this boss fight is because we can constant trigger, quicken, and aggravate, which greatly boosts my damage. When the boss's rage meter is filled, it does 1 of 3 attacks before getting exhausted, which is my main DPS window. Other than that, I just keep my distance, spam my 3 turrets off cooldown, and mix in some of my autos to chip away at its health bit by bit. Here he did 3 headbutt swings, which is the quickest move that he could do, so I managed to finish this boss at 9:02. The first run of the day was time at 8:53, which was slower. A few minutes later, I had a time of 8:57. Better, but still not good enough compared to yesterday. He did the 3 swings again, and my time was at 9 minutes flat. Just 2 seconds off my record. Like, that hurts. That hurts a lot. The boss did its ball move again, which is stationary, and I still got the same flat 9-minute time. No matter what I did, I just couldn't beat my previous time. Now, call me a madman, but I did fully reset and got a crit buff card for 12-1 and then worked my way back to 12-3. I actually managed to clear 12-2 in a faster time of 53 seconds, so ending it at 9:07 with the trade-off buff that was only for 12-2. Meanwhile, on my own account, I attempted a run of soloing the Golden Wolf Lord with Wanderer. If it wasn't for Omega's video, I wouldn't have even bothered to try this. I have no idea how the Mad Lad did it with a C0 Wanderer, because they managed to break the skulls within 2 minutes while I struggled to just break one, copying their exact same strategy. I learned the hard way that using my burst on the skull only fills the meter like a third of the way. Freaking great game mechanics once again. I kept trying for a solid hour, and I'll show you 2 runs where I got pretty damn close. Here I got him to half HP before he started his shield phase. Honestly, I couldn't tell if I was stuck in end lag or if I really did not see this projectile, but fortunately it was my downfall, because yeah, corrosion, you know, give me more of that, please. Admitting defeat from my Wanderer, I went back to my friend's account with Yai in the second half now. I got it down to maybe like a third of his HP left before his shield phase, and that's pretty good. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that Yai's skill doesn't lock onto the skulls, so while I can fill the meter with my autos, it's actually much slower than my Wanderer because of his signature weapon passive. And then I failed to dodge the laser, but that honestly doesn't even matter considering it took 25 seconds to break that first skull, and I still had 2 more left with the time I had. A bunch of failed runs later, and I basically got back to where I was during this recording session. I was horrible at dodging projectiles again and died, and honestly, I was probably just very tired and tilted at this point of the day. Honestly, the part I think that hurts the most of these runs is the fact that this is the closest I've gotten to killing this golden bitch. Day 5 was short, likely because my buffs were ass, so I didn't really bother with Golden Wolf Lord today. I actually reached out to another friend of mine, Fletch. You might know him from the C6 Ito whaling video. Anyway, Ito is one of the promoted characters that they are definitely trying to sell with this god-awful mono-geo-focused second half in Abyss, so I figured I might as well give it a try. Unfortunately, that wasn't going to happen for 2 reasons. One, Fletch told me that he had spent over a month after that video trying to get great artifacts on his Ito and just couldn't, and I feel that on an emotional level. Second, while Ushi does draw aggro from the Rift Hounds, I still get hit because Ito is a melee character, so I'm always going to take damage from the Rift Hound attacks, which are mostly melee, and then the corrosion stacks are just too much. Yeah, 3-starring this boss the normal way without Geo just was not gonna happen. Yeah, that's it. The Golden Wolf Lord was the run killer. Well, it would be if some talented players in the community didn't figure out a workaround. Now, if Wolf Lord ever comes back, you could try this one-shot strategy yourself with any team, as long as you understand the timing and you have the DPS for it. So here's the breakdown. At the start, the boss is gonna do 1 of 3 moves. He's gonna squirm around on the ground, he's going to tail swipe you, or he's going to do the missile skull barrage. Now, all of these moves can be avoided with enough practice and understanding the timing. The second move will always be the laser, and this is when you want to try to get the wolf's HP near but not over the 70% HP threshold. For my fellow NA players, if you draw a line at the which is shown on screen visually, you want to get his HP near this point. It's okay if you don't get him down to 70% during his second move. You can do this while we wait for the next few. Now, the boss will do 2 to 3 moves from all of the previous ones I just mentioned, all 4 previous moves. So there is more opportunity for more damage. Regardless, we're basically waiting for the Wolf Lord to do his tornado move. I do believe that they had nerfed the movement speed of this move since the first time, because it used to not be possible to outrun this move in the Abyss. After performing the move, the boss will be exhausted and you have an 8-second window to one-shot him. You can still hit him when he gets up because he will circle around the air at least once or twice before his shield phase triggers. So in total, you have roughly a 15-second window to one-shot him. And just a sliver of health left. God, I hate that this is doable because it means I'm going to be here for the next few hours.
I'm a fire in my laser! 面倒じゃんここで止まれば律令直
That was fucking horseshit. The boss was supposed to do its tornado move as its fourth, and instead it did its aerial attack to just bait me and into triggering it its stupid shield phase. I am so unbelievably furious. I am like literally crying inside. I just want you all to know that. Finally triple crown my friend's Yai with his permission, of course. It's not much, but every tiny damage counts. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I want you all to look at this. This is the image of a broken man. Literally the same result. What more can I do? There is nothing else I can do to squeeze out more damage. I just want to quit, man. I was willing to reset and try switching to an R3 Las Prairas, Yai's weapon, and honestly, I now understand why this is the best Catalyst solo weapon. The 10% movement speed is actually really nice because I don't have to use as much stamina when running, solving the issue of my deaths to the tornado catching up to me previously, and the damage boost for all elemental damage at 4 stacks is great and flexible for multiple solo characters. I did try to plunge attack tech the boss, which wasn't working like straight up. I'm just not skilled enough to do it consistently. But regardless, after 3 days, I finally pulled off the one cycle against the Golden Wolf Lord. Go back to where you fucking came from, you slithery piss colored Chitari looking ass. Don't ever show your face around here again. Whew. I just needed to get that out of my system. If you're still watching, thank you for bearing with me through all that. Day 7 was very short because I was busy for most of the day IRL. Plus it took some time to get back to 12-3 with at least half of my HP. The main thing for today was just seeing how bad 12-3 second half was going to be. I knew that the big Rift Hounds would be like the final boss of this challenge, but it wouldn't matter if I couldn't even kill the 12 whelps. And sadly, like my Wanderer, this is where Yai reached her limit. The strategy I was using was just running around in circles around the whelps, kiting them, staying far enough away that I could react to their attacks, but close enough that they still remained in a group up for the most part. Unfortunately, this is like the worst one to rely on for AI RNG. Yai could do this, since all I would really need to do is have the whelp's HP be around half by the time I use my burst while they're all grouped. It is possible to do it within the time that I have, but the main issue here is because there's up to 6 enemies on the field at a time, the random RNG targeting is more inconsistent. And this wouldn't be a problem if Yai's turrets were outputting enough damage per tick. Sadly, they don't, even at C6. Then you get to the big Rift Hounds, who, I kid you not, have almost 1 million HP each. Yeah, I am basically fighting the equivalent of 3 Genshin bosses at the same time in terms of HP. And because I haven't been beaten down enough, the devs decided it was a good idea to give one of the Rift Hounds the most annoying leyline effect ever, the Rumbling Stones, which killed me right here. Fantastic. And in case you're wondering, even someone who had a C6 R5 Yai was still cutting it way too close, and my friend's stats are very similar to this person's. But yeah, that's basically how the next hour went for me. I love gameplay where I can do absolutely nothing but run around and pray to God for good RNG. On day 8, I decided to grant myself a mercy rule by allowing a Geo character to help me survive up to 12-3. Now, don't cancel me yet, let me explain. The way I see it is, if Pokemon YouTubers can use HM slays in their videos, why can't I? However, to keep this in the spirit of the solo, I'm just not allowed to ever switch to the Geo character once I'm in 12-3. This is purely to preserve my HP because we already know what happened when I tried to fight the Golden Wolf Lord normally in a solo. I tried playing on Fletch's account again because I really just did not want to play more AFK running with Yai at this time. Okay, like, you can only take so much. Now, yes, there is a Geo Resonance bonus, but it's only active when I have a shield, which will never happen because I'm never gonna switch to Zhongli in 12-3 here. Not that it matters anyway, I just keep dying to corrosion stacks by the time I get to the 3 big Rift Hounds. I will give Fletch my respect because I think his Ito, even with not the greatest of artifacts, could still potentially solo this Abyss. Just, yeah, not against a large amount of Rift Hounds. At least with moral support Zhongli, I managed to survive soloing 12-3 long enough to spawn the big 3, but the damage just isn't enough still. And sadly, day 8 is the last day before the Abyss reset with a new Moon Blessing that doesn't contribute to help me in a solo at all. I guess, in the end, the complete Floor 12 solo just wasn't meant to be.
You thought it was over.
Well, this would be the end of the video if I didn't already know from the patch notes that the third moon blessing was going to be the potential savior of this challenge. The TLDR of this text on screen is that basically anytime you attack with the same element, you build stacks every 1 second, and after 5 seconds, a shockwave is released to the enemy that is currently hit. Physical damage doesn't reset the stacks, which is perfect for 2 reasons. 1, in a solo situation, we're never going to lose these stacks. 2, true damage is a damage type that ignores the target's defense, resistance, and damage reduction, but not shields. So what this means is that this is literally free, consistent damage every 5 seconds in our solo run that ignores the high resistance and defense that the Rift Hounds have. But how much free damage are we really getting from this? Well, slowing down the footage of this test run, we see that at max stacks, a shockwave will deal 20k true damage to each enemy in the AoE. This is game changing. After 5 minutes, I had a run where I made it to the big 3 with over a minute left. I died from corrosion and the ley line bullshit, but there is potential here. That's what's important. That hurts my soul. I was just in such a bad place there. Honestly, I wasn't even gonna make it in time, so I'm not even gonna mold over this death. Not yet. No! Fucking ley line! Oh my god. No, I'll mold over this one though. Fucking garbage ass game. What is that hit range? Are you serious? Who knows if this could have been the run? Day 10 is short. Do you want to know why? Because I died to the same freaking tail swipe attack from across Teva. So at this point, I just accepted that after everything, Yai's weakness of randomly targeting multiple enemies was holding her back. Because sometimes when I have 5 stacks, her skill will target an enemy that's not even grouped with the rest of the whelps, meaning the shockwave just applies to one and doesn't hit everyone. Even if I timed my autos to avoid this, there is still just too much RNG in play for this to work. Plus the timing needs to be exact for the burst to sync up and then kill the current wave before the next spawns. So basically what I need is a character who can deal AoE damage with their skills or burst, and if they could somehow self-heal or draw aggro from a distance, that would be great. Day 11, which for me was a week in between recordings because I had to patiently wait and camp the previous chambers for good crit buffs, or else this wouldn't even be possible. I did some crazy dodging, but still died to the rumbling stones. It's the first run of the day though. This is so doable. Are you serious? Where did that one even come from? I'm dead from corrosion. Oh my god, this was such horrible positioning by me. What the fuck are these teleports? Fucking Julius Caesar backstabbing bitch. Not even sure how I got here. I was high-key panicking the whole time. Not that it matters because I got Among Us from behind. I thought those two were still taunted. I tried a new grouping strategy of going forward at the start and kiting her along this side of the map. It was definitely going to take some getting used to. Doing great on time, just play calm and safe. No! I fucking choked! I don't even understand why I ran towards them to avoid the rumbling stone. I'm stupid. Oh, I deserve to be clowned on this in the comments section for this. No, oh my god. Where are my dash iframes? Where are my iframes, Mohoyo? No freaking way. Oh my god, my stupid flower didn't tank the rumbling stone for me. It's a trick I saw online and it didn't work for me. Come on. Huh, that's interesting. Where did the third one go? Ugh. You fucking piece of shit garbage collection of ones and zeros. I pray whoever added you to the game has their entire internet history leaked to the Chinese government. Fucking fantastic. I was dead in like 3 different ways. 1, the corrosion stack. 2, their backstabbing move. And 3, the rumbling stone. Good, great, awesome even. No, I threw so hard. I was tunnel visioned on the Rift Hound with the aura. He had like no HP left. Why would you do that? Why would you shoot me with the projectile? What did I ever do to you? Did I panic there? Yes. Am I mad? No. I'm just disappointed. I just want everyone to know that I spent on and off 3.5 hours playing this chamber on this day. A lot more fails were cut out because they pretty much all ended in the exact same way. Either dying at the start or dying right at the end to the big 3. I was exhausted, running on empty, and just couldn't bear to play more that day. Even though I finally got the ideal buffs that I thought I needed to potentially complete this challenge, I just couldn't take it anymore. My 12-3 buff reset the next day. I don't even know what it was. It probably wasn't even good because I only played for like 15 minutes and this was the furthest I got. Even if I didn't get the solo today, the fact that I was inching so much closer to my goal was enough to keep me patient. I had 9 days left in January to get that same HP attack trade-off buff again. On day 13, I got my old reliable buff of attack plus 40% for minus 15% defense. Also, my quote-unquote frenemies, Boba and Jay, said to do this on PC. I was very defensive and admittedly harsh about this suggestion because I really wanted to prove that I could do it on mobile. Let's be real, that's just the pride talking at this point. I'm not even the first person to solo Abyss on mobile anyways, even though those players are Giga Leviathans. My main concern about PC was that even though aiming was way easier, like there's literally no disputing that, I was worried that I was gonna tunnel vision on a part of my monitor and still not avoid certain attacks in time, and that did happen a lot. I logged in on my PC and streamed the runs to a Discord VC while I recorded my attempts, mainly because I didn't want to be lonely anymore while losing the subatomic size sanity I still somehow had left. The first 10 minutes were a lot of failures, mainly familiarizing myself playing on PC and using Ganyu on PC. Then, after 20 minutes of playing on PC, this happened. Guys, I think I did it. No way! Let's go! Genuinely, I zoned out there. I don't know how or why everything finally lined up in this run, but the challenge is complete. Like Thanos, I can finally rest, knowing that I completed the hardest Abyss challenge. All for bragging rights, I guess. The true ending to this Abyss challenge journey that I have been on since the beginning. If you watched till the end, thank you so much. Like, I really mean that. If you want to continue supporting this channel in whatever challenge I decide to do in the future, not just Abyss, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment about your worst Spiral Abyss experience. Until then, on to my next video.